Aloha, welcome in. Kapualani here with your timeless tarot. Now, as always, before we go into the cards, I'm going to chime my tuning fork, giving us an opportunity to connect with our breath. As you breathe in, I invite you to call in and connect with your higher self and your spirit guides and spirit teams. As you exhale, releasing what no longer serves, giving thanks, gratitude, and appreciation to those whom you've called in, all right? So, Mother Earth, Father Sky, God, Source, Creator, Universe, your higher power. Setting the intention to cleanse, clean, and purify this space, allowing in only the highest in light, in love, in guidance. Okay, so let's connect. And spirit, what energies are we working with at this time? What energies are surrounding us, are influencing us, maybe probing at us? Spirit, thank you. What energies are speaking to us right now? So we've got some serious, look at these lions here. It's interesting. Obviously, we are in Virgo season, but we've got fire that's coming through. And, for some, I get this energy of self containment, having to pull back on the reins of any feelings of frustration, perhaps trying to overcome. Just not exactly tension, but just challenges. And the challenges don't necessarily have to be, arguing with others or anything like that. But the challenges could just simply be internal, within the self. There's this sort of, I get like that kind of vibes here. So if that's connecting with you, take a moment, just breathe powerfully in through the nose and exhale through the mouth, and do a few of those breaths, a few rounds of those types of power breathing exercises, maybe even working with some essential oils like some lavender oil or some hyssop. Hyssop is for psychic protection, even a bit of peppermint just to cleanse the space and brighten things up. A citrusy one, since we're seeing the fire elements here. So, with these energies, this King of Wands. So, okay, on a personal level, you might be trying to take charge of your life and your trajectory in some form, but feeling a bit of a struggle, feeling as if either the people that are surrounding you or the circumstances, or just, again, it could just be internal, where it's just for whatever reason, it's like, man, I'm just really, it's a struggle right now just to make something happen. It could be just you struggling with yourself again in terms of procrastination, or just resisting certain things that need to get done, but just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? And so this King of Wands, it's really calling forth that energy of self-discipline and responsibility in focusing and harnessing and channeling that fire energy accordingly, so that it's not chaotic and just scattered and all over the place. But again, it's where we can channel. And what is fire? It's life force. So where we're directing that life force energy, your actions, where are the actions inspiring you? Okay. And again, with that Seven of Wands, it could be, again, a real challenge or a struggle. So you're called to tune into your own voice. It doesn't mean to just deny external support or opinions, but it's all about not being too overwhelmed by what's going on around you, to where you get distracted or lose sight of the bigger picture, or lose sight of what you need to be focusing on in the moment. Okay. And so, that being said, Spirit, how can we work with these energies? Spirit, thank you. How can we work with these fiery energies, this King of Wands, this Seven of Wands? Okay, Queen of Pentacles. So you want to ground it. Connect to that nurturing side of yourself, that feminine energy. Ground the fire in, so that it's not, I don't want to seem terribly obvious or anything, but just burning everything down, right? We want to think about the future. The Queen of Pentacles is all about solidifying and securing your foundations for the future for generations to come. And so it's about practicality. It's about being, I almost want to say methodical, but that's not necessarily the first word that comes to mind with the Queen of Pentacles or anything. It's again, there's still this form of responsibility. There's still this form of channeling our energy, harnessing any of this sort of the distractive creative force. You could be very sensitive psychically as well, and that could be part of what's getting distracting, is just, even if it has nothing to do, sorry, I don't mean to be all over the place here, fire, we're all over the place. So we want to again ground and channel that energy in a practical sort of way, and actually it's about taking things slowly and not rushing. Again, we're being in consideration of the long term. If you're not in a position to take action upon anything externally, or where it's outside, again, okay, I guess I could say like your professional sphere, or outside of yourself, if it, in dealings with others, even if it is personal, that's where the Queen of Pentacles, it's about self-care, prioritizing yourself, your life, your security, wellness, well-being, health, and so forth from the ground up. Okay, we're also going to prioritize your wealth, your money. And so there may just be this kind of, I get this feeling of impulsivity, and that's where that King of Wands is taking the reins of the impulsive fire, or that fiery nature that just kind of wants to just be all over the place. And again, that could be a challenge. So what do? We harness and ground it. We focus it not necessarily just inward, because we've got a feminine here, but in the home space, taking care of the home space. So maybe there are things that are needing to be done to manage your life and life situation from the ground up, from the inside out, where it comes to, again, health and wealth, perhaps. Because, Pentacles is physical. And so, yeah, your physical health and health needs. Maybe this is also about paying attention to what you're eating, what you're consuming, both like with entertainment as well as nutrition. Okay, things of that nature. So how can we? Yeah, let's see. This Queen of Pentacles. What's the message with the Queen of Pentacles? The connection to the Queen of Pentacles. Insight from the Queen of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so yeah, we're doing a bit of, reevaluation. We're taking inventory of who and what we are investing our time, energy, and value into. And we're using this moment to just understand that right now, look, and we got 7 and 7 here. I see 7 as a very individualistic number, I should say. I would definitely invite you to look up angel number 7, angel number 77, and see if there's some insight, a message there that resonates with you. So let's get a little bit of deeper insight into this 7 of Pentacles and what's being shared. The 6 of Swords. Okay, so there's development that is underway. Okay, you may be contemplating whether or not the position you're in, the job that you're working, the area that you're living in, the relationship that you're in, and it doesn't have to necessarily even be about love or romance relationships. It could be a friendship. It could be your again, like even with your work and that sort of thing. And it's a contemplation about, like, okay, how, what can I do to improve my circumstances, how I've gone about doing things. This is an adjustment phase, because we've got a transition here with this 6 of Swords. And I feel like this could be, again, a time of contemplating if what you're currently focused on, if it's time to move on, if it's time to evolve beyond, if it's time to sort of say, okay, I've done everything I can at this point, and now we're setting sail, like 6 of Swords, and we're moving on to the next phase, whether it's better or whatever the case may be. The other thing that I wanted to share before we move on here with that Seven of Pentacles is that there are definitely some developments that you've made, even if you're not quite able to see the full impact of what it is that you have been working on and working toward. And so that's where the Six of Swords comes in. And it's saying, okay, let's keep focusing on the future, focusing on what's ahead, doing our best to just breathe and get through this period. It might be a little bit emotionally like, woo, a little wobbly or whatnot. But we're going to get through it. And so where is this transition taking us? What can we expect or anticipate on the other side of this transition, Spirit? We got the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, so there's choices and decisions that are being made. There's definitely some form of movement, growth, expansion that we're looking toward. And something that I feel like there may be some kind of an offshoot, a branching off of something developing from the work and effort that you've already put in. The Seven of Pentacles, now I feel like there's some type of a seed or something that's been developed. There could have been a number of projects or things that you have been investing yourself into, different branches of your life, personally, professionally, whatnot. And this could be, even if you're the type of person who maybe with your career, you may have more than one project that you're working on. And I feel like there's something substantial that you're moving toward that, maybe you planted a number of different seeds, but one of them in particular, maybe more than one, but something is developing, something that maybe you've been waiting on is starting to take shape and take form. There may be areas where you're trying to juggle between where you're transitioning into, what you're transitioning into next. Where's this transition taking me? So, Two of Pentacles. Let's get some guidance on that, Spirit. Thank you. Got the Knight of Cups here. Okay, so following your instincts. Okay, that's the guide. And follow your instincts in terms of your empathic, intuitive vibes. Be inquisitive, be curious. There's movement again with the knights, okay, that we're seeing. So let your heart guide you. You may not have complete clarity over what's to come. In fact, you may not have even grown beyond. I feel like this is something, there's something that I feel you've been wanting to make progress on. And while you have seen some results, you haven't quite gotten to the other side of those results that you would like to. You haven't seen the full expanse of it just yet. And so this is encouragement to keep going. This is encouragement to stay grounded. This is encouragement to embrace the longevity of what it is that you are applying yourself toward. This is an energy also that is, I'm getting these vibes. Something is in a state of progress. There could be some form of, there's something almost like long term or travel that it's not happening right away. A move or movement, growth that's not happening right away, but that it's still happening nevertheless. It's almost one of those things where it's like long term investing, right? Whatever you're putting into the investment now, it's like it's going to be years to come that you're going to be seeing some of the results. And I don't want to say this is about years to come, but it's saying that, if you're not quite seeing the growth, the developments, the evolution of things in a way that you would like to, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't worry about it too much. It's saying to put your focus into the areas and aspects of your life that bring you joy. Just continue to water that Knight of Cups, water those seeds, nurture and nourish the seeds that you've already planted. Okay, and don't give up on that growth. There are things that, it's going to be a transitional sort of phase. I feel like there may be other influences or individuals around you that could be supportive and beneficial. You may feel as if you are competing with a certain standard, is what I want to say. Not exactly or necessarily anyone specifically, but there could be gatekeeping in some way. There could be, again, certain standards that you're up against that seem to keep changing. And you're just kind of like trying to stay on top of everything. You're just, you're going back and you're getting, okay, I've gotten to this point, like on certain platforms, before you can do any kind of subscription, you have to build up to a certain number of followers, and you have to get a certain number of comments or likes or whatever the case before you can transition into really generating income from that platform. Something along those lines, something like that, to where you're seeing growth, but it's not quite getting over that hurdle just yet. We're making our way. There's still some developments. You may have some choices that you're going to be contending with in terms of how you're either bringing things together or deciding to put something on the back burner and just kind of continue focusing on another area. Okay. So, we're going to dive deeper into this reading in part 2, the extension. So, for those who are new, visit my website, kapualani.com/extensions. I will put that link in the comments and description box below if you're interested. It's a pay what you can. I believe I have it starting at a suggested rate of like $1.11 or something like that. So, don't be shy. Check it out. There's like very little to no risk there. But if you're interested in scheduling a session with me, I am available live, and I do offer pre-recorded videos in a similar format at kapualani.com. You just scroll down on that main page and you'll see some options there. Okay. And in the part 2, I will be reading from my Animal Spirit Guidebook. We're going to pull a card here and now. We're also going to be getting some yes/no answers from our angel answers. For, again, thank you for those who have just been following this whole time and are like, you do this every time. Like, yes, I do, but there may be some new people who don't know. But I'm also going to be pulling a card from the Romance Angel Oracles for some guidance there as well. So let's do this. What Animal Spirit Guide is working with us in this moment, has a message for us. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Animal Spirit Guides. Okay, so we've got Cobra, we've got Scorpion, both these fiery energies. And interesting that we have this King of Wands, because in the Wild Unknown deck, and this is the Animal Spirit Guidebook from the Wild Unknown, it's a Cobra, a King Cobra that represents that fire. So we've got, with this Cobra King, there's sensitivity to vibration and sound, but the sound waves. So there could be some kind of an emphasis on music with the Scorpion energy. So I feel like they're both very sensitive creatures. There's something about staying grounded while being alert to the opportunities, to potential energies around you, whether it's like evil eye energy, or again, if it's a positive where there's opportunities for you to strike upon. What's interesting here is that both of these creatures have like a venom, right, of some sort, and so they can sting. So there's something here about, I want to say, like, don't delay on the things that keep coming up, and that the universe is like, however mundane it may be, okay, like, pace yourself and take care of business, take care of what needs to be taken care of. Okay. It may not seem like it's has anything, may not have anything to do with your bigger picture goals. It could just be life stuff, paperwork that you have to turn in, a call that you have to make to your cable company or whatever it is, your phone company. Do it, handle it, take care of it. Okay. That's what this time is for. But again, as I said earlier, I will be reading from the book to give us more insight to these cards with the Cobra and the Scorpion, as well as diving deeper into this reading here in my part 2. So I wish you the very best. I hope you're having a great week so far. I'll see you in part 2.